try not to mess with somebody's clear recorder that's sitting right here, whoever that might be. I don't mess with yours. Absolutely not. First and foremost, I want to thank the press for being here today. It's an important day for San Bernardino County, the District Attorney's Office, and more importantly, the citizens of this county that suffered in the old fire in 2003. If you recall, we had 91,000 acres burned, 1,003 structures, and of course the worst of it all, the deaths of 5 of our citizens that lived in our community during the old fire. Entire neighborhoods were lost. In fact, to this day, there are neighborhoods that are still rebuilding or trying to rebuild, or perhaps they won't rebuild because of the actions of this individual that today was given a death sentence. I want to thank the Sheriff's Department. I asked Sheriff Hoops to be here with me today. I want to thank the outstanding work of my office, specifically Bob Bullock, my senior trial lawyer that handled this case from day one. I want to thank Superior Court Judge Vic Stahl, who at the time was a supervising deputy district attorney in my office, who brought this case forward and kept pushing and kept working with the investigators to finally solve this case that affected all of our citizens in San Bernardino County. And finally, hopefully, this does bring some justice to the victims, not only those that lost their lives and their families, but those that lost property, those that lost their personal properties, photos, photo albums, pictures, letters that you can never replace from loved ones, their animals. I remember going down to the airport myself when everybody was evacuated, and how scared everybody was and what was occurring. But we all came together as a community at that time to support these victims. Now, just briefly, I want to mention something about victims and victims' rights. Their rights are being attacked as we speak. I've been very quiet because I wanted to protect the integrity of this case regarding Proposition 34. But this is exactly why we need to defeat this proposition. Because of this case shows you, we have balances in place to make sure that people get a fair trial, both at the investigative stage, the trial stage of the guilt phase, and the penalty phase. We have many times, and the appellate phase. We cannot let a proposition overturn what happened today in San Bernardino County for these 5 victims. So this defendant Fowler can go back to state prison and live his life in a prison setting, where I will tell you this, by the facts and evidence put on by Bob Bullock, he will commit and hurt other people. That's why it's so important that we have to stand for victims of crime in the state of California and stop and oppose this Proposition 34. I won't talk right now about all the baby murderers and the cop killers sitting on death row, but this DA is from here forward going to fight to make sure that doesn't happen. Again, you didn't hear a word from me because I have too much respect for our judicial system and even a defendant's right when he's facing capital punishment. But the jurors have spoken, and I want to thank them as well. With that, I want to introduce my good friend. I wanted him here to thank